From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and All India Radio, this is Stumped.
Hello and welcome to Stumped, your intercontinental hit of news, features and debate from the quirky world of cricket. I'm Alison Mitchell, coming to you from my hotel room in Wellington, but I've come here from Mount Maunganui in the north, where we saw Bazball in all its finery, only surpassed by Stuart Broad's own fiery spell with the brawl, which meant him and James Anderson have become the most successful pair of bowlers in Test history. They've passed the record of the great Glenn McGrath and the late Shane Warne. So that really has been something.
Jim Maxwell in Sydney, and we certainly have a bit to think about in terms of our men's cricket team, so we won't bother. We'll just talk about the women's team, because Alyssa Healy's fit and raring to go, and I think the whole concentration of Australia at the moment is perhaps more on that, what happens in South Africa, than India, where, well, mercifully, we've got a few days off before the next Test match.
Yes, indeed you do. I'm Sunil Gupta for All India Radio. But I will not talk about the Test matches right now. There's enough time for that. But the big news really has been the Ranji Trophy, where the final was won by Saurashtra without its two big stars, Jadeja and Pujara, who were playing in the Test match. But it just shows the depth of talent in Indian cricket.
And of course, we are going to start this week by talking about the men's Test series between India and Australia, because India have already retained the Border Gavaskar Trophy in the Test series. It only took them 6 days. So India lead the 4 Test series 2-0, and Australia's nightmare in Nagpur was swiftly followed by dismal in Delhi. Now, it's led, Jim, to criticism from a lot of former Australia players who have been questioning the leadership, the preparation, the selection. So where, for you, has it gone so spectacularly wrong?
Well, I think the inability to make runs against very good Indian bowling. And I think this has cursed Australia for much of the last 10 or 15 years, whether it be in India or Sri Lanka. We've had similar problems against anyone who can turn the doorknob, as it were, bowling left or right-handed. And this time it's the two Ravis who have done the damage. And the two words that come to mind perennially when you look at Australia's demise, swept away. They swept themselves away. From the moment Steve Smith got out LBW to Ashwin, they were all over the place. As far as this tour is concerned, for most of us, it's all over. Whatever happens from here, if miraculously Australia win 2 tests, that'll be the greatest get out of all time. I can't see it.
Difficult to see, isn't it? But what about, I wanted to ask you about the selections, Jim, because first of all, there was the brouhaha over Travis Head being left out of the first test. And then the second test, what about the spinners? You've got Ashton Agar going from being the second spinner in the Test 11 in Sydney to being, the 5th choice all of a sudden now. And that can't be good for the mindset and clarity of thinking of the players, because it feels as if the selectors don't have clarity of thought.
Well, they probably don't. They don't know what they're going to do with Warner. They've got no idea. Will he be fit for this one-day series coming up? He's been selected for it. He's got a fracture in his left arm. He's got a concussion issue, but allegedly he's coming back for all of that. And there'll be plenty of people who say, oh, well, if you can't improve the side, why drop him? But it's getting to that point where he doesn't score enough runs regularly to keep his spot. For mine at the moment on this tour, I'd be opening with Travis Head and Khawaja, because at least with Travis Head going in first, you might get a bit of momentum in the innings. Labuschagne, Smith, they haven't scored half centuries yet in this series. So the best players aren't putting their hand up in the way they need to. And Australia's bowling has been thrown awry because of the turning pitches, and they've tried to answer that by playing 3 spinners. Yes, very curious that Agar's all of a sudden gone from a Test cricketer in Sydney to a non-entity. They can play a lot better than we've seen, but can they do it is the question, and then get all this behind them and move on to the Ashes.
So, Sunil, plenty of woes for Australia, but what about the credit for India and the way they are playing and continue to be dominant once again at home?
Yeah, I was thinking about what I should say. I don't want to crow, because I actually am disappointed. I'm disappointed in the lack of fight. I really, as Jim said, the evening of day 2 in Delhi, after Travis Head went after the bowling, and they reached 69 or something for 1. I said, wow, we got a game on our hands and India's going to have a tough time. Look what happened to India and Bangladesh. We almost lost that second test. We were 45 for 6 or something before, again, Ashwin rescued the cause. But I just like to point back to, when India used to travel to Australia, I'm talking about the 70s and the 80s, it was virtually the thing in reverse to the quicks over there, because we weren't used to the bounce, we weren't used to the swing, we weren't used to the pace. And it was the same thing. We didn't have the defenses to cope with that type of bowling. So that's, in reverse what's happening here in India, because the batsmen who are coming here, even though people like Hanscom and so, he played well in the first test match. But then somewhere, as Jim said, it gets into your mind, I'm going to sweep. And I was horrified when I looked at the day 3. Everybody is just sweeping, like India used to go there and flash outside the off stump. It's exactly the same thing. So it's a question of the mind. I always believe sport, you have talent, you have technique, which perhaps some of the Australian batsmen don't have. I think this premeditated sweep has really ruined them. But eventually it is temperament.
Finally, on Stumped, Pakistan might not have made it out of the group stage of the Women's T20 World Cup in South Africa, but back home, an initiative to encourage more girls and women to play the sport, well, it's flourishing. Pakistan's a nation where chances for women to play sport can sometimes be limited. But Sunil, you've been finding out about Khelo cricket, which is literally making a difference overnight. Tell us more.
Oh, yes, I was privileged earlier this week to speak to Hadil Obaid, a lady who's the founder of Khelo Cricket. So I asked Hadil how she came up with the idea to revolutionize the women's grassroots game in Pakistan, how that idea occurred, and what she's done to actually propagate it.
So to be very fair with you, I'll be honest, I stumbled upon women's cricket in Pakistan. So we started Khelo Cricket with the idea that we wanted to do something for those who love to play cricket on a grassroots level. Now, whether it was that you wanted to be the next Sana Mir or the next Shahid Afridi, or whatever it is that you wanted to do, whether it was to be part of the national team or to play as a weekend outlet, we wanted to give you the opportunity and a platform to kind of have your voice heard, have your statistics speak for themselves, highlight your key moments, and kind of celebrate the game itself and your love for cricket. So it was the Ramzan of 2016, and every nook and cranny of Karachi had men's cricket happening. And, you have tape ball on the streets. And Ramzan is like traditionally a very festive cricket kind of a month, which is funny because I don't know why it is that way, but I think it's because people essentially stay up all night, playing cricket, and then everybody is sort of used to this in the day. There's so many men playing cricket. What's happening for the women? And, when we kind of started doing our research and a little bit of digging, we found that there was actually no women's night tape ball tournament happening, not just in Karachi, but in Pakistan. And it was kind of like an understood thing that no, the men play cricket at night and the women, are mostly at home or they're spectators. So we kind of wanted to change that a little bit. And we didn't know what we would expect. We did not know, would there be backlash? We did not know will 5 girls turn up? Will 50 girls turn up? Will there even be a tournament worthy of, playing? And so we just kind of put a feeler out. And within 24 hours, we had an absurd amount of, registrations and people calling and saying, oh my God, something like this has never happened before. We want to play. We had parents calling because, of course, it's a women's cricket tournament. And so it was parents kind of calling and asking that, is this legitimate? Can we send our daughters? Is it safe? It's night, it's from dusk till dawn. And so that's kind of how we stumbled upon it. And the response was so overwhelming that we realized we'd actually found something that was absolutely incredible, and we wanted to be able to do something and give back to the sport.
I read that you'd started it only with men's cricket till you brought in the women's cricket back in 2016, if I remember. Did you find any resistance from the boys who were playing at night?
It's never come up. And I have to say, I'm so proud of the boys because when my first women's cricket tournament happened, I got a lot of backlash from, say, religious communities. We got a lot of hate on social media, and we had to consistently keep blocking. I made sure that the security at the grounds and all was very good because we were afraid of somebody coming in and shutting down our tournament, But the boys actually who came in to watch the cricket, the guys who were commenting on our social media, and because we live streamed all our matches, were seeing the videos and writing on the pictures and doing all of them, they were really supportive. They were very excited. A lot of them were actually very family oriented. So they would say, oh, I'm sitting in South Africa and my cousin is playing here, or I'm sitting in Dubai and I'm so excited to see that my, female cousin is, or my sister has the opportunity to actually play, she gets this chance. And so it was really interesting. I had so many fathers be so excited, because I remember this particular dad on the first one, like sitting with the team and kind of doing a team huddle. And he came to me and he was like, I never got to make even the Pakistan A team, but I'm going to make sure my daughter, who's 13, she gets to the Pakistan level. And there was like just a general sense of like, finally, even the girls get to play. And it's been so interesting, because I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting there to be some sort of resistance to say, this is our space, why are you entering? Yeah. And I'm sure that there were a lot of boys who had that, but I was fortunate enough to not come across those that felt that way.
What about the sponsors? I'm sure you're getting sponsors, but how does that actually work? Because that is such a fundamental part of any success in any sports today.
It is very hard to get sponsorship for women's cricket. Mm-hmm. You still are in a country where women's cricket is a CSR campaign. We are still empowering the woman. It is still the poor Pakistani woman who does not know anything, and she is oppressed, and we are giving her money and a platform to be able to do something. That is the general corporate mindset. We have been fortunate that every year, even at the 11th hour, we have somehow the other been able to manage getting funding for every single tournament that we have set out to do. However, the idea that you are investing in something, that this is a real sport, is not something that has caught on yet. I think it will now, with the way that women's cricket is changing the environment, the amount of money in women's cricket all over the world right now, from the Women's Indian Premier League to the Women's Big Bash League. You're seeing a general shift where women's cricket is less of an afterthought, and it's now, hi, this is the future, let's invest in it. But from my personal experiences, it is still me knocking on a door every time and saying, hi, this is an initiative worth funding, get behind it, because you are seeing the results. You are seeing, women's cricket move ahead. Why would you not want to be a part of it?
Oh, yes. I mean, I think some of the Pakistan women cricketers, we all know about them. Your captain, Biswa Maroof, and of course, I read about Fatima Sana. If a couple of them come out and actually start making that difference in the senior team, is that something that you foresee happening with some of the girls who are playing with you?
In Pakistan, there's a lack of continuity. There's a lack of consistency, even in the infrastructure on a grassroots level, even the Pakistan Cricket Board. As much as they have improved, there is no mandate. There is no schedule that says X number of women's tournaments will be played a year, and making sure that those are being executed. So there are X number of tours that are happening in a year or a season, and those will be executed. So, when it's not happening at the top level, then sometimes it gets harder even on a grassroots level to try and make sure that there is that consistency. Now, where Khelo Cricket comes in is that is exactly what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to make Khelo Cricket's movement across Pakistan so that it becomes a nursery. It becomes a nursery almost, whereby, you've created a platform for women cricketers, and then the Pakistan Cricket Board can come in and look at the stats, look at, the women cricketers, be a part of our tournaments in a sense, and say, this is the talent worth identifying, investing in, and then taking it into their camps. At the moment, there's no real nursery program. You have a talent hunt, and then, some 5 girls will be selected, and then they'll get lost in the system, or they'll be inducted. With the associations coming in, that was kind of creating a little bit more women's cricket, but then that recently got disbanded. And then now there's talks of women's, PSL. So if a women's PSL comes up, which they're saying is going to come up in September, that's great. But you cannot recycle the same 45 women in the circuit. So what do you do? And I think that's why the step below, the most basic grassroots level, needs to be taken most seriously. And that's kind of what we're hoping for from 2023 to 2025. We want to not just double, we want to at least, I'm talking about 4 tournaments this year, but I would at least love to have 8. I would love to do it in different parts. I would love to kind of have consistently keep getting in the statistics. And, tape ball for women isn't taken that seriously. And I don't understand it because, so many of our men cricketers have come through tape ball. And, and so for me, I'm like, this is crazy. Just because she can't play hardball cricket doesn't mean she can't be taught to play hardball cricket, as long as you're seeing the talent in tape ball. And I think, of course, the PCB, is an organization that has been working towards the development of women's cricket. However, they also have their limitations in their resources. And I think that's kind of why I've been so passionate about Khelo Khawateen initiative, which is all about, women playing cricket, is because I think if we strengthen the baseline, you'll actually see it move upward, and we'll actually be able to see that. I'm not saying our women's cricket team will win a World Cup even in the next 10 years, but I'm saying you won't be losing by 114 runs to England either.
One question that I have for you is that it is cricket that drives everybody's imaginations. Do you intend branching out into Khelo Pakistan instead of just Khelo cricket?
So I've been asked that quite a bit in terms of so people have come up to me, a lot of footballers have come up to me and said, why aren't you doing football? I had a few volleyball players come and ask me that, why is there no Khelo volleyball? So my short answer is that my love is for cricket. The reason why I started Khelo cricket is because I always felt like cricket heals everything in this country. And no matter how bad things are going personally or in the country itself, cricket was the one thing that just healed you. And so I wanted to give back to the sport that had given me so much. And that's kind of why I had started Khelo cricket. But I understand the need to kind of venture into other sports. And that has been something that's been on our minds. But in my head, I wanted to tackle one well before I started something else. So I'm not saying it will not be maybe in 2027, we could be having a very different conversation. But at least for the next 3 years, I don't see Khelo doing anything but cricket.
So we were talking about Fatima Sana, and of course, she's now an integral part of the Pakistan team. She was the ICC Emerging Cricketer of the Year 2022. So that's a great honor. Tell us a little bit more about her and her evolution and her journey to that state.
So I actually came across Fatma Sana when she was, I believe, 12 or 13 years old. This was in 2016 when it was Khelo Cricket's first Ramzan tape ball tournament. And she ended up actually winning player of the tournament that particular time. And there were so many girls who were older to her. But the amount of wickets that she took and the way that she played was absolutely incredible. And I remember seeing her and thinking to myself, wow, there's something special about this girl. We've been following her career within the PCB and we've been seeing how well she's been doing. And then to become the first Pakistan women cricketer to win the ICC award that she did, and just seeing her evolution, it's been incredible. And I don't know whether Khelo played a part in it or not, but I felt honored that somebody like her, who I had seen her journey and that she had been a part of our events and that, we had witnessed that kind of talent. And it made me think of all the girls, from, her age and in that particular bracket that had done so well. And you're seeing their careers and you're seeing them kind of get to the Pakistan cricket team and beyond.
Oh, that was a fabulous interview indeed. Sport gives so many people a sense of belonging, whether that's at community level or higher. It really, really runs deep. So, Sunil, that was a lovely chat. Thank you. Hadil Obaid, the founder of Khelo Cricket. That is all for this week's Stumped. So I'll say thanks to Jim Maxwell and to Sunil Gupta, and of course to all of you for listening. Make sure you join us again, same time next week. Bye-bye.
From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and All India Radio, this is Stumped.